Go. Welcome back to Blue Exorcist Anime Review, episode number 27. We are here reviewing the 50th episode of Blue Exorcist Ambition, which is also the opening episode of Beyond the Soul Saga arc, per se. Well, that's the season anyways. But the arc itself is going to wrap by episode 55. So it's basically going to be a 6-episode arc. This episode itself, by the way, I'm also covering chapters 151 to 153. It covers from chapters 69, pages 4 through 10, 12, 19, 20, 23, and 25, 32 for chapter 75, 34, and 71, 8 through 10, and 15, 35. Now, I did look up basically for next week if in fact that next episode cover the rest of 69. No. Well, basically it'll cover the last 3 pages of the chapter, yes. But pages 1 through 3 and page 1 through 3, 11, 20, 21, and 24, they're probably skipping those. I think it might be adapted for next week, but 70, they adapt to pages 5 to 34, almost the entire chapter, this one. And 71, probably the rest is one next week, pages 8 through 10 and 15 35. So, here's what happens in this very episode. We start off with, get this, Yuki informing the X-Wires cram school that the exam they're going to take has been moved up to next year, which is basically a month from this point. And they explain later on it's because, well, they explain in the next meeting, of the high officials in the Order of True Cross, which goes Arthur, who is basically ready to murder Mephisto because he's a freaking demon. We also have a woman named Lucy, 2 members of Grigori, and a few people. Basically, they explain the events of the last season of the show. Basically, kind of a small recap here. Yes, it has been like a few months since the events of the previous season. I was actually quite surprised they decided to do the season roughly just a few months after they just concluded the previous season of the show. Yeah, I was kind of surprised about this, because I think I know the reason why they did this, and the reason why because there's plenty of material to adapt, and also the fact that, well, this season is basically cover like probably about 2 story arcs per se, given the fact that the next one is going to be called Blue Knight Investigation, which I've kind of briefly talked about this arc already in previous episodes. Yeah, they're going to be adapting that probably next, start episode 56 of the series. Oh, in case you're curious though, how many episodes are there going to be for this season? Just 12. Which, that's interesting. Yes, that means also that like there's 11 episodes to go for this season. So, as Festival informs of what happened in the previous season, the whole thing with the Illuminati, which a lot of the stuff skipped from the manga, which I appreciate. There's like one thing that skipped here, but it doesn't really much matter here. After meeting, basically, Arthur proceeds to tell. By the way, also Lightning is here. Yes, he is here, and he basically says, "We'll calm down. Not time for infighting." And then, of course, you see him. We cut back to school, where everybody's wondering, like, why in the world moving up the whole thing. They didn't mention that there's demons. Basically, watching this particular barrier that's increasing. This one from the previous season of the show, which I do respect they included this in here. Which, like I said, the only reason why it's here because it's probably been some time. Not a long time per se between seasons, but some time. So then we have Fist of everybody about the joining of other orders. Well, basically prepare for some future. Lightning comes in each classes, and everybody basically comes as one classroom, and he mentions, so he mentions these particular symbols, which of course, Ren basically, by the way, before this, Ren just asked Yuki about this. You can be late again? Yep. A couple of food, and of course, like the shimmy, which of course, apparently the way that she talks to him was also the same way he talks to her, which is interesting. That he's actually hiding something. What exactly going on with him? That's explored in the next episode. Because also, now, where's Shira? Not here. Not yet, anyways. So, and then apparently, like, he forms a class. And by the way, he basically Rin guessed partially the fact that the symbols they drew that lined his crossboard were in fact buttons on a PS1 controller, which that's mostly true. Apparently, the symbols for a magic circle, which I thought that was kind of weird. Also, Bond notices right away that he is abbreviating spells, probably to speed him up. And you might be curious though, is the same in the manga? Yeah, he did the same thing there too. So then, of course, like he asks, for instance, in class there, he asks, "Oh, I need two strong guys." So Bond and Rin proceed to come in. Well, first they have Cephs basically just excise the room, and they get to the Cephs while they clean up the room. Eventually, it's cleaned up, and eventually they have like this blue box. Rin gets caught in it, and of course you have Bond, where he proceeds. The element has ambition here, which yes is from the manga too. They wants to unite his family so he can be separated. And apparently Lang does because he feels like it. He thinks, oh, he attracts to X-ray. They do cut the bit out here that his family's living fine in Texas. As for why they cut this for, probably cut the time. So, oh, in case you're curious though, is it the case like in the case of Naruto and Bleach, where the studio who dubs it also publishes the manga? In the case of Exorcist, no. That's not the case. They use similar voice actors from Viz Media, yes, like Johnny Bosch, obviously, who voices Yukio. Now, this is dubbed by Aniplex America. I should point out that this episode came a month ago. Yes, a month ago. Why am I reviewing it now? Because that's when it comes out. And those of you curious, does Aniplex America do this, where they basically like a month? Yes, they do this. They do the same thing with martial magic and muscles. And now Black Butler, surprisingly, that one they basically aired within like 2 weeks after it aired originally in Japan. Which, yes, I'm wearing a Black Butler shirt. Another show dubbed by Aniplex America, which aired at the same time the previous season aired for this show, aired at the same time as Blue Exorcist, which this next season is not released yet. So, moving from that. So, we do see Pookie Brown in here too, where she mentioned, oh yeah, she lost everything. Like, I do appreciate they kept a lot of her stuff in here too, and of course, to one of his friends, Shin, the pink hair guy. Yeah, he does do anything in this episode. I mentioned the spy thing with Mephisto. Of course, Earth thinks it's a demon. Nope, it's basically Shin. So, pretty much in the way. So, they eventually have these things like these cursed cards, and apparently the way to beat him is by tearing them up. And Bond basically begs him to sample, though he's kind of embarrassed by it. It also says, "Oh yeah, can you shave my beard, wash my body?" And then of course Rin proceeds to punch him. And it's like, as I said, was the same thing. And of course, but he also he's also obsessed with Rin's sword for some reason. Don't know why, but he is. And then they leave, and then we have Rin running into his cat. And that's the episode. Yep, good episode. And 11 more left to go. So, basically, I'm discussing chapters 151 and 153 now in the manga. We have a One Cloth Death. That's chapter 151. 152 is Everywhere. And 153 is Fear. So most part, it's a lot of attack. It's like a lot of explosions happening here. The character Lucy Yang actually dies in these chapters, and then we have basically her subordinate, basically just taking over a position while destroying basically a flame. We also have this snake woman, which they explore her past these chapters, where apparently she was this immortal woman who fell in love, had a child. The child grew up, and apparently when the child got too old for her, she murdered her own child. Yes, seriously. And they show in flashbacks, she was a very beautiful woman in the flashbacks they have here. She, of course, gets killed, and then, of course, the last chapter ends with basically the flame they were after for Team C being destroyed. Oh, in case you're curious, though, Rin plays a very little role in these chapters. And Chimmy doesn't do much anything in this chapter either. But that's kind of in the previous version with these 3 chapters in a nutshell. They're good chapters, and it does advance forward the story. Now, I've been hearing rumor for a while now that the manga is going to be ending soon. I have not heard anything that's going to end with this arc of one cloth, but I would not be surprised. But the thing is, still waiting for whenever they decide to announce it. And, yeah, those of you curious, why have we not done any Blue Exorcist reviews past months? The reason why, because I forgot. That's simply the reason for it. Yep. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do another segment. Well, basically going to be a lot of Sentai tomorrow, maybe Comic Corner, and there will be no new anime until Wednesday. I have ReZero. Okay, thanks for you. Bye.